Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Brother Ryan want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. The rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprisings, the uproars, out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, doing everything they can do to put themselves in a position to shake the hand, to wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty akwaf in this thing that sincerely reverence their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts for our foremothers, on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the Akwaf that are not married as of yet, but they're building themselves up, doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children in this thing, but abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the 12 tribes, scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, magnifying the Most High and his beloved Son Yahweh Shah. This is going to be an in-depth breakdown, right, on the secrets of the sons of God and the children of men. So in the last days, we're diving into prophecy, we're diving into parables, we're diving into everything edifying to edify the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But let me share my screen, right? And brothers, tell me, and sisters, if you can see the screen, give me a con. Right, put a con in the chat if you can see the screen, and we're going to dive straight into it. Right, give me a con if you can see it. We're going to dive straight into it. Let's go to the mighty book of Sirach. Go to Sirach, chapter 33, right? It's the mighty book of Sirach, chapter 33, right? And I'm going to start at verse number 15, right? I mean, this whole thing is for, I'm going to start at verse number 13. It says, as the clay is in a potter's hand, to fashion it as he pleases, as his pleasure, man. So we're the clay. The Lord shapes you and molds you every kind of way for destruction. He can shape you into being a prophet. He can shape you into being an apostle. He can shape you into being a righteous woman, a woman that's on fire, or he can shape you contrary to the laws of God, to hate your brother, to be a pedophile, a demon, to be an outright blasphemer. The Most High can shape the clay as he deemed fit, man. It says, so man is in the hand of him that made him. So people can't be upset that the Most High is not saving everybody. The Most High is not saving all the nations. All the nations are not being saved. You can't be mad at the Most High for certain things that exist or certain lots. You can't be mad at the Most High. It's the Most High's clay to do him as he fit with whom and who he was. It says to render them as liketh him best. So the Most High is the one shifting and moving. Good is set against evil. So with everything you have a just balance. And the just balance are the sons of God, and you have the children of men. See, the sons of God are actually the chosen from the very foundation of the earth, from Adam all the way down to Abel, all the way down to Seth, all the way down till you get to Noah, and predominantly bringing forth our King Yahweh Shah. So good is set against evil. Then you have the wicked. You understand? You have Cain, right? You have a Jubal, right? A-ball, J-ball, a two-ball Cain, right? You have Jared on the left-hand side. You have all of these wicked on the left-hand side. So you have a just balance with the Heavenly Father. And life against death. So is the godly against the sinner. So right now you're at war. So when you see somebody committing commandments and they're keeping them and they're doing what's right, all praise to the Most High. When somebody's doing the contrary, they're going against the laws of God. They're smoking, they're committing lewdness, drunkenness, they're reviling, or they're going off, right? They're actually a war going on between the righteousness and the wickedness of the earth and the sinner against the godly. So look upon the works of the Most High. That's not just talking about the sun, moon, and stars. It's not just talking about the animals or the insects. The works of the Most High are often prophecy. The works of the Most High are reading and discerning spirits. The works of the Most High is nature. The works of the Most High don't just stop at the sun. You have to consider the spirits that are upon men. Well, let me get a quick precept. Why things are so? Why does the Heavenly Father has this balance? You have to consider that it's a very high level of wickedness coming on this earth. Look how many camps are being formed. How many brothers are turning into prophets? How many sisters are putting down the things that they used to do? Whoremongering, hating their sister, right? Clubbing or whatever the case may be, drunkenness, smoking weed and diverse pill popping, all of that being put down so righteousness is increasing. Think how much wickedness has to be increasing in the last days. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras. The mighty book of Second Esdras, right? Verse chapter 14 and verse number 16. It says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So now we're living in the days of old. Everything is regeneration. Everything is a recycling. You have a great falling away, and you have men increasing in the last days. You have the valley of dry bones. You have the Most High breathing breath into those souls, bringing them back to life. So the Lord is telling you how evils are increasing upon the last days upon the earth. For the truth is fled far away. At the time, on an ancient world, right? Very, very ancient world, the elder world, rather, where truth was prevalent. Adam was teaching the sons of God. He was in order. He was like a king upon a throne. He had the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding and prophecy flowing down from Yahweh himself through his son Yahweh Shai into all of the Garden of Eden, man, the children of God, man, the sons of God. But then what happened? Eventually, he got cast down out of his high estate, being a king and a ruler. Right now, he had to what? Pick up dust and dirt and till the ground all the days of his life, man. So Adam was under curses. We're under curses. And we're coming back to that estate, you understand, where we were high up in the ancient world, we're cast down, and the wicked is increasing on the earth. Things are being built, right? All type of wickedness is being done. You have secret councils, Epstein files, right? You have all manner of lewdness. You have all child sacrifices. So much things done in the dark that truth is fled far away. And leasing is hard at hand, for now the vision to come, which thou hast seen. So now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen, man. And the Lord is hastening these things. You're looking upon the works of the Most High. You're seeing that they are double to that which is. It says, and there are two and two, one against another. So there are works against the Most High, one against another. Let me get another quick precept before we dive into it. We go to the mighty book of Romans. Right? I want to get Romans chapter 9, right, in verse number 20. And I also want to get the book of Psalms. Let's get the mighty book of Psalms. Right, it's the mighty book of Psalms, chapter 16. It's Psalms chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse number 5. The Lord is the portion of mine inheritance. So what is David saying? Meaning my inheritance, what's given to me, is not this world. It's not this earth. Right? It's not the gold, the silver, the comely things, the riches. That's not my inheritance. Our portion, our lot, the thing we're given is to inherit being a son of God. That's an heir awaiting his throne. That's an honor. So David is saying that's the portion of my cup, man. It says, thou maintainest my lot, meaning every lot you'll be an Israelite. Every lot you'll be a king. Every lot you'll be a disciple. Every lot you'll be a prophet. So the Lord maintains the lot. So it should be very pleasing and comforting that you're in this truth right now, man. Because you followed the Lord from afar off in times past. The lines are falling into me in pleasant places. Right? The lines are your heritage, your path, right? To flow into you to be able to understand these words, right? The old English, to dive into the Greek. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. So blessed be a man and or a woman that has a godly, good heritage in the eyes of the Most High, man. Everybody doesn't have that. And it's not for everybody, man. Right? Let's go to the mighty book of Romans chapter 9 verse 20. It says, nay, but O man, who art thou to repliest against God? Should the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? You have not the power, right, over the clay. So the potter has power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel to honor. Right? That vessel unto honor is Israel. That vessel unto honor is Jacob. That vessel unto honor, you understand, is Abel, is Seth. It's the men of God, the children of God, from the foundation of the earth. The Lord has formed them thus to be honorable, and another to dishonor. What if God will to shew his wrath, to make his power known? See, a lot of people underestimate the power and the wrath of the Most High, because the Most High tends to be reserved. He tends to appear quiet. He tends to appear like he's not upon the earth. So the Most High is to let you know and remind you that he's the God of this earth. Endure with much long suffering the vessel fitted to destruction. You're reading, you're praying, you're throwing up curses, you're going to camp, you're doing these videos, you're doing everything that seems like the Lord's just too long suffering. You're trying to get out of here. You want to see the destruction. It says, and that he might make known the riches of his glory and the vessel of mercy. Right? The make known the riches of his glory is the things inherited from old, the promises, the kingdom, immortality, man. Right? Which he had before prepared unto glory. So the Most High have already prepared unto us a kingdom, already prepared to the elect thrones, man, dominion and power and glory. So you have to really keep your mind fixated on these promises. That's what's going to keep you going. The promises, the mercy, continuously reading, long forbearing, continual in your lot, waxing old in your work. Lord said, work your work bedtime and in due time, man. Not when you want it, but in due time, he will give you your reward. So you have to continue on and maintaining this lot. But I want to go to the mighty book of Genesis. Let's dive into it. Let's go to the mighty book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, chapter 4, right? And I'm going to start, and this whole thing is 5. At verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep. Now in the spirit, Eve is saying that she conceived and brought forth who? Cain. Well, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 25. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25, right in verse number 25. And the first came out red. So you have Cain being born, and then you have the first coming out being red, being Esau. Cain and Abel is Jacob and Esau in the spirit. Cain is the wicked one. Abel was of the righteous one. Abel has a precious blood, innocent blood that should have never been shed, man. And that's spiritual, according to the martyrs. That's spiritual according to our innocency in this kingdom, being shed and killed and martyred. The Lord said, let me get this quick precept in the book of Revelation, chapter 16. It's Revelation, chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse number 6. But they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. So in America alone, you have the blood of saints, prophets, elders, nobles, man, right? Shed upon all this concrete, all this brick, all this mortar. So when you're going into it, the first came out, right? Said she conceived and brought forth Cain. I've gotten a man from the Lord. All praise to the Most High, I have a child. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. So that represents Jacob. So we're the keeper of the sheep. The keeper of the sheep is a quiet life, to guide the meek, to guide the lowly, to direct, to do the will of the Heavenly Father, to bring forth enough and sufficient unto us, and let the Most High take care of us. You understand? The field takes care of us. The sheep takes care of us with clothing. You understand? Wool and the sheep's milk, that takes care of the goat's milk, that takes care of us. So we're a people of the lowly that direct and that keep, you understand? While Cain, right, he's a man of what? The ground. Just like Esau was a man of the field. Verse 3, and in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offering unto the Lord. So from the very foundation, he's in the dust. Like the Lord said in the book of, let me get this quick precept. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 47. So his beginning is digging in the dust. You have ears to hear. We can't say, well, don't say dust. Getting some fruit. No, you gotta read it in the spirit. While he's guiding the sheep, which is parabolic of the elect and the truth, and walking the path and the shepherd, you got another one. He's digging in the ground. Just like you have Esau, he's a man of the field. What's in the field? Wild beasts, insects, no pathway, no direction, no light, no understanding, just a nomad, a wanderer, and a vagabond. Being in the dust is really a judgment. This Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So when you sit in the dust, that's really like a judgment of a low degree. Sit on the ground, there is no throne or daughter of the Chaldees, but thou shalt no more be called tender, right, and delicate. So in the process of time, he's bringing fruit, man. Most I never told you to do that. And Abel, he also brought the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. So Adam, he's a king. What does the word Adam mean? Let's go to it. Now, I had the children, right, of men pulled up. I wanted to go into the etymology. I wanted to go into the Hebrew. I wanted to dive into which each one of their names mean. I was bringing forth a dark pearl. When you just read Cain, you don't want to just be in this book. See, it's layers to everything like an onion, right? You want to read things, first and foremost, to comprehend. Second, you want to read it to definitely comprehend. And thirdly, you want to start picking apart different things that are there. Maybe want to dive into etymology, maybe want to dive into, this town and this city in Judah, whatever the case may be, this man's name. You want to see his bloodline. Is he a Benjamite? Is he a Judite? Two, when you dive into Genesis, Genesis is one of the deepest books in the Bible, man, in my opinion. You have Genesis, you have Revelation, Second Esdras, Daniel, right? Ezekiel, Isaiah. You have many dark book of Job, man, right? That are hard to comprehend, understand, and break down. And I'm going to get this real fast, right? Adam means first man, right? Let me see if this is pulled up, what I had. All right, bear with me. Let me see if this is pulled up. Bear with me. Can brothers see the screen where it says children of men? Give me a strong comment if brothers can see the screen. So you have the children of men, which is the children on the left-hand side. You have the sons of God. I scribed out their names so it could be easier to understand as we break this down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now you have Cain. Cain is a possession. But before we jump the gun, I wanted to get what Adam means. Adam means son of God, first man of the ground, right? So when we diving back into it, going back to the book of Genesis, chapter 4, this is an Abel. He also brought the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had no respect, not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And that's the spirit of Esau, man. You don't do what the Lord said. You do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and be upset when the Most High isn't dealing with you, man. The Most High is very, very structural and tedious on how he wants things done. To a specific age of a dam, to a specific age of cattle, to a specific gender, to a specific bloodline, and within that bloodline, a specific tribe to do his will, right? The Levites. So you can't be mad at the Most High because he never told you to do what you're doing. And the Lord said unto Cain, while art thou wroth, why is thy countenance fallen? If thou do well, and this is going back to the clay, if thou do well. And the Most High, is painting a picture as if he has an opportunity to do well. See, a lot of people, they think that they have free will. That's a stumbling block for a lot of people. They think that, I can raise my hand, I put it down. I raise my hand, I put it down. The Most High ordained that from the foundation of the earth. See, I'm proving a point that if I wanted to, I can't do what I want to do. If I wanted to, say I wanted to do God knows what. And the Most High say, you know what? You're not doing that. Today you're doing this. You don't know how many times we've been at the harbor teaching or any other place, and we, just teaching, and somebody just walked by, having a hell of a day, man. It was one time, through the spirit, it's gonna sound like a lie, man. Thou shalt not lie. Brothers can vouch for this. It sounds crazy. I'm teaching, and out of nowhere, this crackhead is getting chased on his moped. I think somebody on a dirt bike was chasing down this crackhead. This crackhead is running. He's running for his life, right? He's getting chased down on his damn moped. The guy tackled him, flip him over, and he literally tumbled. Like, this is like out of a movie. He tumbles into our signs And we told the dude on the dirt, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, calm down, calm down. He said, yeah, he owed me some CRACK, man. Where's that? I need my money. Right. And all hell started breaking loose, and we like, hey, brother, calm down, everything all right. I'm saying all this to say he literally got chased over some drugs and beat up till he tumbled into the Lord, man. Till he tumbled into the sanctuary. And then he got the words of the Lord. When he woke up and did whatever he was doing, or buying whatever he was buying, or smoking whatever he was smoking, he didn't think he was going to get chased and ran down and tossed into the church, man. He literally got tossed into the church. Like how what is that? Uncle Phil tossed Jeffrey, man. He literally got tossed into the church. Right, let me get this real fast. Look at this. For brothers that know, they know. Let's see. This is literally how he came into the truth. He got chased, and the Lord tossed him into the church. You can't make this up. So we're not in charge of what we want to do. The Most High has the predestination. So when the Lord said, if thou do well, shall not thou be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt have rule over him. So sin is always at the door. That's on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. See, Yahweh Shai, he stands at the door and knock on the right-hand side. But unto the wicked, sin lies at the door on the left-hand side. So you have to really consider the spirit that you're in, what you're taking heed to, what you're listening to, man. Because the door is your mind. This is the book of Revelation chapter 3 and verse 20. Behold, I stand at the door. So to the righteous, the Lord is at the door. Every single time your auntie tell you to do something good, every single time you have an opportunity to come to church, right? And when I say the church, I mean the assembly of the Israelites. Every time you have an opportunity to do well and give alms, every time you got an opportunity to fast, to give alms, whatever the case may be, man, that's the Lord standing at the door. But every time you're granted drugs, sex, violence, anything on the left-hand side, that's Satan. He's standing at the door with sin. Verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So this was deceit, man. This is one of the first crafty counsels, right, in the scriptures. Now, it doesn't say how long they were talking. It don't say how long you let them out in that field, man. You have a conversation with somebody and walk them half a mile when nobody can hear cries. There's no witnesses. So he took them all the way out in the field. I'm led to believe deep in the field where nobody could see him. There's no witnesses. And Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. It said he slew him, man. So he killed his brother. Now, Cain, everything starts in the darkness before it comes to the light. You have a seed, it's planted in darkness, it yields into the light. You started off on the left-hand side in this world in darkness. You was a drug dealer, man. You was a gangster. You was in a gang. You was in the clubs, man. You was doing God knows what. And the darkness to the Lord brought you to the light. See, Genesis starts off in the darkness, right? Figuratively speaking. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1. And so does it start off with the wicked in their reign. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse number 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So what's the first thing upon this earth? It's darkness, evil, sin, transgressions. That's what covers this earth on a deep spiritual level. Yes, this is physical, but it's spiritual as well. It's double to that which is. You can't be ignorant and to the fact that when this is speaking, it says, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So the Spirit had to move upon any and everything for there to be light. Meaning without the Spirit of the Most High on this earth, it's filled with darkness and evil, transgressions and sin, evilness, tumults, drunkenness, hatred, man. All manner of the fruits on the left-hand side of the flesh. It says, and God saw that the light was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. So what was upon the face of the earth first? Darkness. And Cain, you understand, he slew his brother. It says, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper, man? So in the spirit, what he's saying is, I'm not of my brother. We're two different spirits. Am I my brother's keeper? A keeper does what? He keeps the sheep, just like Abel did. Meaning, I'm not of his spirit. That's what it's really saying on a spiritual level. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, he being a smart ASS, man. Yeah, he's going off. But a keeper keeps, man, just like he keeps the sheep. Make sure that they're in line. A king keeps the people. A noble makes sure that the nation is in order. A ruler, a father, a husband does husbandry. He keeps the garden. He's not a keeper. He's a wild man. He loves to go off in the field. He loves to mingle with wild beasts, bring forth diverse kinds. He is a man of the field, man. He said, look, I'm not my brother's keeper, man. I'm not of that spirit. It says, and he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. See, Abel's blood was slain unjustly, which again is symbolic of the elect. It's symbolic of the restitution that we need. From the very foundation of the earth, the first murder was Abel. Unjustly killed. Look at Yahushua. Look how many men to this very day that were killed by police officers, strangled half to death, choked up. All these things are a cry that go up to the third heaven. It says, I'm going to read that again. The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground, and now art thou cursed from the earth. So he has a curse for killing his brother. Now I'm going to read this. Now Abel, his name in Hebrew means possession. Right? Possession. What is he possessing? And why is he getting a possession? What is possession has to do with a man that's cursed? Shouldn't he be cursed and just a vagabond and flee into the uttermost parts of Egypt and damn Africa, and he's just a vagabond, he's on the move? He possessed this earth on the left-hand side, man. He made a deal with Satan. When you read the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter, and the cherubims, right, in the land of Nod, and he started to build. He got intelligence. He got wisdom. He got built up on the left-hand side. That's the same thing. When the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, he sought a witch. When the Most High stopped dealing with you and the spirit not on you, it's up to man to follow something, because we understand that things are greater than us. We don't have all the answers. You got big brothers of the earth. You got coaches. You got fathers, leaders, a boss, right? Whatever the case may be, supervisors. You're created to follow, man and woman. So it says, now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not hence right forth yield unto thee. Now, either we know the Most High is true, obviously. Either the Most High is not telling the truth, or something is going on, man. There's something that's going on is witchcraft, because the Most High's word can't be broken. So why is he saying this man is going to be cursed, but yet he's increasing? Why is he saying when he tilleth the ground, it won't bring forth, when his sons and his children are bringing forth cattle? There's something deeper going on the left-hand side that we can't be ignorant about, man. Witchcraft, contracts of Satan, increasing on the left-hand side is real, man. You got certain people that are not talented at all in the music industry, yet they prosper, they flow. You got certain people that can't sing at all, but yet they have record deals. You have certain people that can't act at all, man, but yet they're in every single movie. You got certain people that sold their soul, and not with a contract and a pen and paper, but with blood, with sacrifices, with things done in secret in the dark, with strange sexual acts, with degrading themselves, with going into the Hebrew, crossing it out and speaking other language, man, right? Denouncing the Lord, increasing and putting fire and sacrifices upon their God. Let me get this quick precept. So why is the Most High saying this, but yet he's increasing? Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, right? In verse number 15. They take up all of them with the angle, meaning we're captured, but not by a physical net. We're captured by sorcery. Sorcery captures your mind. You wonder why your children all day on their phones? You always got to scrolling. You can't get off your phone. That dopamine in your spirit, in your mind. You have to see the latest trend. You have to accustom yourself and adapt yourself to the rudiments of this world, man. That's them captivating you through sorcery. They catch them in their net and got them in their drag. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Meaning, the chief ones of this earth on the left-hand side, they're rejoicing and glad that their wicked devices are prospering, man. From their phones, their social medias, BET Awards, the new music industries, and all of these things are captivating the minds of the simple. Therefore, they sacrifice unto their net. What is their net? The very thing that captures you. That could be lust. That could be whoremongering. That could be the music, and you can't stop listening to this rapper, and all he's talking about is killing his brother, man. So they sacrifice to their net because that's their power. They have no power. The Lord told you that, man. He told Pontius Pilate, you have no power at all, man. Let's the Most High give it to you. The book of John, the 19th chapter, verse 9, all the way down. So their power comes on the left-hand side. Again, you have the sons of God. You have the children of men. Why are they children of men? Because they're just mortal men. They're just descendants of mortal men, while we're the sons of the living God, which is immortal. It says, and burn incense to their drag, because by them their portion is fat, and their meat plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net? I mean, are they going to let you go? Are they going to empty out everything that they've stolen and not spare continually to slay the nations? So the Lord said that his name in the Hebrew, right, is possession, because he possesses on the left-hand side this earth. The Lord said the earth was given into what? The hands of the wicked. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. Let me get that real fast. It's the book of Job, chapter 9, in verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, but yet the earth was created for us. That's in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter. Let me get that quick precept. So the earth is literally given into the hands of the wicked, to the God of this world. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, and verse number 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? So if you think we possess this world, you're sadly mistaken, man. The wicked rule it. Satan rules it. Again, this is his kingdom. Our kingdom is to come. The kingdom is within us that needs to be manifest through our works in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right now, this is his kingdom. This is his world. How long shall this endure? I was going on all the way from 400 BC, man. So it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? I mean, if it's not this man, then who is it? So the Lord is asking, how long shall this endure, man? Let me go back to the book of Genesis. I want to finish this point before we dive into it. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 4, in verse number 11 again. Now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. It's too much for me. And I asked for all of this, man. I never thought it was this deep. This is the same spirit of selling your birthright for lentil beans, man, and pottage. You know, you thinking that it's a small matter, just like Esau did, and he got a greater condemnation and judgment. The same like Cain. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. Meaning he's possessing the mountains. He's possessing the terrains, the field, the outer darkness. And from thy face shall I be hid, meaning he will have no blessings or chance to repent. And I shall be a fugitive, always on the run from the avenger of blood, and a vagabond in the earth, always traveling and changing his identity. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold, right? Because you have to have the revenger of blood. The revenger of blood goes all the way down, like I said, to Abel. Abel represents what? That sacrifice, right? Slain as a innocent sacrifice, really symbolic of Yahushua. He's going to revenge us of the blood because he's another sacrifice that was taken that was innocent. Not that it wasn't men before, but he was the first one and he was the last one. He's always the first and the last. He's off the Alpha and the Omega. Melchizedek, the first priest to the last priest. The first king, Adam, if you got ears to hear, the first Adam and the last Adam. You understand? It says, and the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him, right? Which is leprosy. So that everybody on the earth know if you touch this man, right, that vengeance will be taken on you sevenfold. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. Now, what else is on the east of Eden? Right, let's go to Genesis. So he knew exactly where to go when the Most High departed from him. He knew exactly where to go. It's the book of Genesis, right? Chapter 3 and verse 23. Therefore, the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, right, Adam, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, man. Cherubims are angels. And a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So you have these flaming cherubims going back and forth to resist, to stop, to withhold you from keeping the commandments in the tree of life. Immortality, living forever. Why would you want to go somewhere that's guarding righteousness? What will possess you to do that unless you're making a deal, unless you're seeking something that you ought not to be seeking? That's where he got his power from, man. Angels will give you power on the left-hand side. You make a deal with the devil, like they say in this world, you make a deal with the devil, you'll reap benefits. I'm not telling brothers to do that, and God forbid anybody's getting tempted, but that's the spirit that can actually happen, man. That's why the Lord, has certain precepts. Let me get this quick precept. Right, it's the book of Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Meaning we understand that the glory of a sinner, he's eating good, man. He's fat, he's flourishing, he got money, women, he chains, gloriful. I mean, you're sitting up here twiddling your thumbs, man. It even happened to the righteous. Even David, man. Let me get this quick precept. That even happened to David. So if it happened to David, how much more us? Right? Let me get this quick precept. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and verse number 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Meaning David, he almost slipped and fell, man. I almost slip and fall all the time. I mean, if you're not meditating, you're going to fall away. It's only a matter of time. Because wickedness is going to alter your understanding, and deceit is going to beguile your soul. But I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And Cain's supposed to be cursed of the earth. But yet he went to his God. He went to his father. He went to his source on the left-hand side. Didn't I just say in Revelation, the dragon gave him his power, man? It says, for there are no bands in their death, but strength is firm. It says they are not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. I mean, really look at Esau. When is he really troubled? His strength isn't firm. Only time he really break an ankle or get hurt is when he jumping off of a cliff, man. Or roller skating and doing a backflip or skateboarding. They don't have the situations and falls like we do. They're not plagued. It says, therefore, pride can pass of them as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. So David said, look, man, I had to go in the house of God to see their end. Right, let me get that real fast. It says, so foolish was I and ignorant, I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. thou hast holding me by thy right hand. So David said, look, man, if it wasn't for the Most High, I would have fell away, man. Because you have to consider and see all of this world and the riches and things it has to offer if you would yield into it. And that's exactly what Cain did, man. He went to the east of Eden, where the flaming sword was, man, and the cherubims, to make a deal with Satan. Let's go back to the book of Genesis. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse. This whole thing is fire. I'm going to start at 16 again. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain and his wife, she conceived and bare Enoch. Right? So what is Cain doing? He fled from the Lord into outer darkness to go to the east of Eden where the flaming cherubims are. And now there he knew his wife. Right? She bare Enoch. Now Cain in the Hebrew again is a possession. What does his sons mean? Dedicated. So when you're looking at it, right, Cain brought forth Enoch, which was one of the sons of the wicked, which is dedicated. What is he dedicated to? Let's keep reading. And he shall build the city. So Cain is building the city. Where is he getting the iron, the brass, the zinc, the minerals? The Lord said iron cometh out of the earth. So if iron cometh out of the earth, what tools are you given to be able to find it out of the earth, man? You know, certain things are given to you by the Heavenly Father. You possess them. A field full of whatever the case may be, lilies, and a field full of fruit and cattle that brings forth this, and the Lord takes care of you. But if you're out in the land of Nod, and I want to pull that up real fast. I don't want to think of too many things at once. But I'm going to pull this up. All right, let's pull that up. The land of Nod. Nod means wandering. So why would you find anything flourishing in a land where you wander? In a land where it's nothing but rocks. A land where it's nothing but terrain, hills. A land where nobody really is, man. How can you flourish in a land of Nod when he's wandering? A vagabond. How can he flourish there? It's not possible. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. And again, you need strength, machinery, and heavy artillery to be able to dig in the earth to pull out certain things. So you have mining businesses so big. People risk their lives going in the caves and digging for hours and hours with machinery. This is the book of Job, chapter 28, right? In verse number 1. Surely it is vain for the silver and a place for gold where they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is molten out of the stone. So a man that has a son, how do they begin to even have the understanding and architectural intelligence to form out a city, man? That's never been done. On the left-hand side, he setteth and entered darkness and searcheth out all perfection to stones of darkness and the shadow of death. So he builds a city on the left-hand side. And again, that city is dedicated. His name is dedicated. It says, and called the name after the city. So that name of the city is called dedicated. What is that dedicated to? Why is the name of this city named after Enoch, and Enoch's name in the Hebrew means dedicated? Meaning the very thing that he received of his God, he dedicated it back to him. That city is symbolic of what? America. It's symbolic of the Greek Empire. It's symbolic of every ancient kingdom, the Roman Empire that's being built up, man. That's why they're so great. They're so vast. The army is so strong. The military is intelligent. They flourish. They prosper with gold, understanding on the left-hand side of their wise men. So if you get something, what's the first thing you say? All praise to the Most High. Hey, you got a wife, all praise to the Most High. Hey, Ak, my red pregnant, all praise to the Most High. Hey, Ak, we just got the venue for the Passover, all praise to the Most High. He received the intelligence and the knowledge and the wisdom and the strength and the capability to do something, which he did, which is built up a city. What did he say? all praises to his God, man. He dedicated unto him after the name of his son Enoch. That's not just, oh, I love you, my son, my dear son. Right. And as he's holding them right here, and he just named the city, he just stumbled upon this city. He added 3 stones into it. He burped his son 3 times. Oh, that I love this guy. Right? It happened like that, man. You gotta dig in the spirit. It says, and unto Enoch was born Irad. Now, when you start to follow their names, you have something that's a possession that's dedicated to. It says fleet. Fleet really goes into being a fugitive. Because that word Irad, right? Irad, from the same H6166 means fugitive. So he's a fugitive. So you have to follow what the Lord is saying. And H Father, which had him, the Most High put on his spirit to bring forth a dark parable. Right? It says, and Irad beget Mehusalel, and Mehusalel begat Methuselah, right? And Methuselah begat Lamech, right? So I want to pull that up real quick. So you have Mehusalel smitten by God. So this man's name on the left-hand side means to be smitten by the Most High, man. Right? You got the children of men. So Cain has a possession, which is the earth, even though the Lord said he should be cursed from the earth. So he went to his God and received it, which he dedicated back that city to him, which gave him that knowledge to be able to succeed and prosper of the earth. And his son's name is Irad, which means fleet and or fugitive. Fleet meaning many, like many ships. It's a fleet of ships, right? So there are many fugitives. There are many men that they're fugitives of the earth, but their lot is to be smitten by the Most High. And that's exactly what's going to come to pass with Esau. It don't matter if they flourish, if they dedicated to their God, if they, break bread and laugh, drink, and have fun. They're bored, gendereth, and they prosper. The Most High is going to kill them. Let's go to the book of Job. Let me get this quick precept. Right? In verse number 11. They send forth their little ones like a flock. Meaning all of their children, they run and they have fun. They're skipping, they're at soccer practice, they're at a volleyball practice, they're in a gym. They send forth their little children, they're skateboarding in the streets. It says, and their children dance. They're dancing at the Super Bowl, they're dancing at the NBA Finals, they're dancing at every Oscars. They're having the mirth of the earth. They take their timbrel and harp, that's not literal but spiritual, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. Now, why do they rejoice at the sound of the organ? Let's go to the book of Genesis. Now, yes, the organ on a spiritual level, it's the spirit of this world on the left-hand side. But also, who's the father of the organ? Cain, his descendants. Let me get this real fast. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 21. And his brother's name, Jubal, he was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. So why is it the harp and the organ, but yet they're taking the harp and the organ right here in Job, man, the sons of the wicked. So spiritually, they're rejoicing after the things of their fathers, their ancient gods, their history, all of their wealth, their prosperity, and they're rejoicing and remembering their Greek gods. They're rejoicing and remembering their ancient Roman Empire, huh? Right? Caesar, Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, all of them, Nero, right? All of those devils, man. It says they spend their days in wealth. So their days are spent with wealth, even though they're not supposed to prosper of this world. And in a moment, they go down to the grave. Going down to the grave is going right back to the dust and the dirt, which is their first estate. Wherefore, they say unto God, depart from us. Why do they say that? Because they have a God. No man can serve 2 masters, because you're going to love the one and hate the other. If you're literally playing around with the devil right now, you can't serve the Most High. There's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out spirit. You either serve the Most High or you serve this world. It says, for we desire not the knowledge of his ways. Why? Because they're filled with the knowledge on the left-hand side. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? Meaning we already have a God that's strong. He prospers. He gives us wealth, knowledge, and wisdom. And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? Why are they saying that's? Because they're already profiting. That's like saying, why work at that job when I'm going to be making the same at this job? This job paying me XYZ. Job paying what? $30 an hour. The other job saying they'll pay you 30. Well, right here I work Monday through Friday. That other job say you work Monday through Friday. Well, what's the point? I don't need that job. I got this job, man, already. I'm prospering. I'm flourishing. There's no need for me to quit this job and go to another one. That's the spirit that they have. It says, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. So the Lord said, look, the counsel that they bring forth is far from the Most High. It's not of the Most High. Let's go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 4. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, right? And I'm going to start at 18 again. And Enoch brought Arad, and Arad, right, begat Mahusalel, and Mahusalel begot Methuel, and Methuel begot Lamech. So when you're going into it, right, he means to be smitten by the Most High. Now, his son's name is who is of God. Now, on the left-hand side, you got a Lamech on the right-hand side. You got Lamech on the left-hand side. You got a Cain. You understand? You got an Enoch. Right? A lot of these names are similar. And that's spiritual to the old man and the new man, man. Used to be what? The Ariel on the left-hand side. You know that, I didn't pick that name, had a government earthly name. Right? But nevertheless, you got the Ariel on the left-hand side, man. And then you have the Ariel on the right-hand side. These are the children of God and the sons of men. And it's spiritual that their names are similar. Because if you got a righteous father, he'll name you something in the spirit. Like, Zion, weapon. Right? But then, he's a weapon to slice down the enemies and use forth righteousness. But then you got a Zion on the left-hand side, man. That weapon is used for mass destruction. ICBM missiles, man. Missiles, destruction, nukes and bombs. Right? So you got to peep the spirit that they're moving in. So he's of God, but what God is he of? He's of the God of this world. Well, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. It's the mighty book of Job, chapter 17. It's the book of Job, chapter 17. And I'm going to start at verse number 4. Thou hast hid their heart from understanding. Meaning the understanding of the Most High is hid. They have the understanding of this earth. Therefore shalt thou not exalt them. He that speaketh flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail. That's all his descendants. He hath made me also a byword of the people. And aforetime I was a tabret. I'm your laughing stock. Mine eye also is dimmed by reason of sorrow, and all my members are as a shadow through affliction. Upright men should be astonished at this, and the innocent. Who's the innocent? Abel is the innocent. Yahweh Shai is the innocent. You're the innocent. Shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. You have the innocent and you have the hypocrite. You have the congregation of hypocrites like the scriptures speak about. And then you have the spirit of innocency, man. Innocency is being undefiled. The elect are innocent in the eyes of the Most High. So you have a man, right? It says, who is of God, right? And Lamech, which means powerful. So the children of men, they have a possession that's dedicated, right, to their God and to their city, which are fugitives, fleet of them that are smitten by God. So the Most High is destroying the children of men, even though they're prospering. So you can't be foolish, ignorant, and not cognizant of understanding the judgment of the Most High. You got to be long forbearing, right? Methuselah, who is of God, but that's on the left-hand side. This is not the one righteous son of Cain. Right? He kind of stepped to the side. My father's have been going off. Right? I want to seek the Lord. No, who is of God meaning his God, who he's of, is the spirit of Satan. You have the God of this world, right? Let me get that quick precept. I'm gonna come back to this. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. Right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians. It's the mighty book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4. In verse number 4. In whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. So the apostle Paul is letting you know that, look, man, you got a God of this world, and he blinds you. He blinds you from knowledge and wisdom, prophecy, understanding, and being close to Yahweh by his son Yahweh Shah. So if you have the God of this world in you, that's your God, man. And you'll praise and magnify your God. Look how hard people go for wickedness. People die for their hood, man. People die for a cheating husband or kill themselves over their cheating wife and crash the hell out, man. They love the God of this world. They'll fight you over that gang, man. They'll fight you for where you from, because they worship the God of this world that preaches and teaches all of that and enforces all of that in your mind. Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine into them. Right? So, I mean, Lamech again means powerful. It says, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives, in the name of the one Adah, the name of the other Zallah. Right? So he has 2 wives. Now his wives are spiritual, because one of the names of his wife is an ornament. And the other one, right, her name is shade. And spiritually, when you're looking at it on a deeper level, there's nothing more wicked on earth than a woman, right? Not the righteous daughters of Zion that are repenting and keeping the commandments, but the seduction spirit of a woman, man. Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 6. The Lord spoke about the eye being wicked above all things. Lord speak about your heart being wicked above all things. Most High speak about wickedness of a woman. So there are key factors of wickedness that's upon this earth, right? Let me get this quick precept. Let me see what I want. Bear with me. Bear with me. I could get Matthew 14. I'm going to just get Matthew. Okay, this is what I want. It's the book of Mark, chapter 6, and verse. I'm going to start at 16. But when Herod heard thereof, he said, it is John, whom I beheaded, and he is risen from the dead. So he's shaking in his boots, man. He's scared for real. For Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold on John and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy brother's wife. Why are you going off? Therefore, Herodias had a quarrel against him and would have killed him, but she could not. She didn't have the power. For Herod feared John. So the wicked, they fear you, man. He didn't fear John because he was 12 feet tall. He didn't fear John because John had a secret sword and he always poured it out in times of affliction. He feared John because John was the son of God. He feared John because John was in the spirit. And devils fear you, man. People of this world, they fear you. Not because, you're a threat physically, because the spirit is on you. It says, for Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man. So people could fear you by being a just man. Didn't Saul fear David, man? And David was shorter than Saul. Saul was taller than the rest, from his shoulders all the way up. You understand? It says, and in holy, and observed him. And when he had heard him, he did many things and heard him gladly. So they fear you. They understand you. They know you a righteous man. They understand the works of the Most High. And when a convenient day was come, that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, and chief estate of Galilee. And when his daughter of the said Herodias came in and danced, it pleased Herod and them that sat with them. And the king unto the damsel asked of me, whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee. So he told you straight up, I'll give you whatever you want. Right? Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. And this is all from a woman. Look at 2nd Esdras, the 4th chapter, right? Verse 26 all the way down. All right, Salaki, bear with me. Khan, Salaki. Diving back into it, says, acts of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee. So he told you, look, I'll give you whatever you want, right? So all of this is from the wickedness of a woman. You have a lot of wickedness traits and spirits of these women. And on the left-hand side, his 2 wives are an ornament and shade. So an ornament brings forth what? It brings forth light. But it's on the left-hand side. Let's go to the mighty book of Revelation. Matter of fact, let's go to the book of Job. Let's go to the book of Job. Job chapter 18 and verse number 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. So there's a light of this world, the illuministic ones on the left-hand side. You have what they would call the Illuminati, the illuministic ones, but that's on the left-hand side. They bring forth the light of this world as science, right? All that technology, that's the light of this world. It says, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. So there's a fire. There's a spark. There's something drawing you into the wickedness of this world, man. And that's exactly what an ornament does. It captivates you. It dedicates your mind and it pulls you towards something that's not of the Most High. It says, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Now, I'm going to go back to this. Now, his wives are an ornament and shade. So there's an ornament which captivates you in your light and distracts you, but it's really shade and it's darkness. You know, his wife, you understand, is darkness. You know, why would you name your woman Shade, man? Why is your wife named Shade? That's off. Who in the hell would do such a wicked thing? How are you even thinking about that? It's like the Most High programmed the spirit of these men to name their children these things on the left-hand side. See, right now they're just named what? Jimmy, Bobby, right? Whatever the case may be. Now their names don't mean anything. But in the ancient world, your name meant everything, man. Everything about your name brings forth the spirit and a lot that you brought forth, man. And a lot of our fathers, they were prophets. So they prophesied of things for it to come of children. Like in the book of Isaiah. Let's get that real fast. Isaiah's son was prophesied for it to come. You understand when you actually going into it. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 7. And I want to start at verse number 14. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. God is with us. So that brings comfort that the Most High is with us, and he's for to come. Now, in the spirit, it's talking about Yahushua, but in context, it's talking about Mahel Shala Habash, right? It says, moreover, the Lord said unto me, take thee a great roll and write in it with man's pen concerning Mahel Shala Hashabash. Salaki for the pronunciation. Right now, when you jump down, to verse number 18. Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs. So that name Emmanuel means what? God is with us. Concerning this famine, concerning the war that was going on with the northern kingdom, with Syria, you understand, Judah, the men coming up. So they're for signs of comfort and for wonders in Israel. Why are there wonders? Their name is a wonder. The spirit behind their children are wonders. So children mean everything, man. That's your heir. They're the avengers. It says, from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion. Right? Going back to it. Salakia. An ornament and shade. Right? And Jubal means streams of water. Let's dive into it. Let's go back to it. Let's go to the mighty book of Genesis chapter 4 and verse number 20. It says, and Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents and of such as have cattle. Having cattle doesn't, this is literal, but it doesn't literally mean he's just the father. He's the first man ever that has cattle. The end. No, that's what does cattle mean? Let's go to the mighty book of Job. It's the book of Job, chapter 21. Right? And I'm going to start at verse, so like it, bear with me. It says, their bull gendereth. The bull is your strength. This is talking about the wicked. So they increase with strength. Their bull, meaning their cattle, it genders, meaning it's strong and faileth not. And in this economy, before the last days, it flourished, man. All of these kingdoms have flourished, and it failed not. Their cow claveth and casteth not her calves. So this economy is built up and is likened unto a bull and it's likened unto a cow. The cow brings forth milk, brings forth meat, brings forth leather, it brings forth a plethora of things. The bull, it genders, meaning it's strong, it brings forth working in the field, it brings forth an increasing, and it fails not. This economy, every single time you turn around, it's building. You're building, you're building. Lord said, they shall build, but I will tear it down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, man. Border meaning the beginning of wherever you look, go, think about, or imagine it's the beginning of sin. This man, right? It says, we go back to it. It says, and he was the father, right? Meaning the beginning of such as dwell in tents and of such have cattle. But what does his name mean, right? His name is going of stream of water. I mean, out of this man flourishes on the left-hand side the abundance, right? Again, you're going into the possession. It's dedicated of fugitives, many that's smitten by God, whose God is of this world. They're powerful on the left-hand side of flourishing, right? And his wives, right, represent an ornament which tricks you, captivates you, which is really shade, brings forth shade, man, darkness. It says streams of water. So out of this system, this man, you can have streams of water, man. Now, anybody know about the streams of water? Lord said, out of me are the issues of life, living waters, right? The Most High's throne is living waters. So when you look at these sons of the wicked, man, it's not just naming them and stopping, because the Most High could have made 15 more chapters of their sons. Is really, speaking of a parable, a dark saying, going into the destruction of the wicked. Let's go to the book of Revelation chapter 22 and verse number 1. And he shewed me a pure river of water, of life. So everything they're doing is imaging righteousness, but it's on the left-hand side. It's always a mirror of something that's righteous, but it's really wicked. It's a mirage. It captivates you. So out of the Most High's throne is waters, knowledge, and wisdom, clear as crystal. The Lord told you not to drink waters from a different cistern, but drink waters out of thy own cistern. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 5. It's the mighty book of Proverbs, chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 16. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of water in thy streets, right? In the streets. Let them only be thine own. So you can get water. You can get streams of water in this society, man. You can be rich. The Most High gives you riches, but you can be rich in this world. You can get knowledge. The Most High gives you knowledge, but you can get the knowledge of this world. You can literally flourish and be a what they call a fat rat, man. Live all the way high up on the fifth floor, man, and increase in the society. And he gives you water. But the Most High has that clear crystal water, undefiled. It says, let them only be thine own, man. And you can't take the waters of another man's well. It says, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. The wife of thy youth is wisdom. The precious wisdom of the Most High that you're ravished with, and from her you drink. With her you live forever. With her you gain immortality. With her is perfection. It says, let her be as the loving hen and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times. Meaning out of the breast comes what? Milk. What is milk likened unto the commandments? So it nourishes you and it builds you up with strength. Milk does what to the bones? It strengthens it, man. It says, and thou, Slaki, and be thou ravished always with her love, man. And don't fall out of love with this truth. Don't be like the children of Israel in the wilderness and loathe the manna, man. The manna is Yahweh Shai's body. You're getting sick of the commandments, sick of the doctrine, sick of this truth. And you start to itch and scratch for the quail, man. You start to itch and scratch for the streams of water from Jabal, man, on the left-hand side. From strange wells, strange waters. You know, we always bring out, you go to Mexico in certain places and drink their water, your body can't adapt to it. You're used to drinking a certain kind of water, and it'll overthrow you. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. All right, let me get one more real fast. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, and I want to start at verse, so I can bear with me, 13. For my peoples have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and have hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So it's already prophesied that we like to drink other waters, like to do other things. We like to sustain ourselves other ways that is not of the Most High. We got to come out of that, man, and see how truly wicked these devils are, man. In the same way, like the Lord said, in due time he will reveal his iniquity, and the man of sin should be revealed. The Lord is revealing these things in the last days that he's able to give you these things. It comes of the wicked, but it also comes of the righteous. Let's go to the book of Genesis. Let's go to the mighty book of Genesis, the 4th chapter. This is Genesis chapter 4, right? In verse number, I'm gonna start at where we at with it. I'm gonna start at 21, right? And his brother's name was Jubal. So we had Jabal and Jubal. He was the father of such as handled the harp and the organ. So you had the one that dwell in tents, right, and cattle, and the one that handles the harp and the organ, right? Again, you have the streams of water that come out of it. And you also, Jubal is streams. So you have many streams you could flourish with of the wicked. Now, Tubal Cain represents, it says, thou will be brought of Cain. Right? Now, what does that mean? Let's read it. Right? It says, verse number 23. I'm going to start at 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every, right, artificer in brass and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Nama, right? So you have an artificer, an instructor of brass. Where the hell he come from, man? Who gave him this knowledge of brass and iron? What does that even mean? And how did this happen, man? Right? It says she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. That's where they're getting these buildings, this infrastructure, all the architectural work. You look at these cities, the way these cities is built up, man. Look at America. Look at the way this thing is built up. Look at this. These skyscrapers, these big buildings, this machinery, these bricks. No, look at just the structure of this city, man. And look how fast it was built. No, it was built within, they would say 380 to 400 years. And they're still building as of now. Every floor, every elevator, where are all these bricks coming from? Where's all this iron coming from? And they're jamming it right in one place, man. When you really looking at how spiritual this is, you can't just be driving to work, man. Look at these buildings. Right here, you are all the way in the street just yelling about traffic, man. This is spiritual. You're looking at the sons of the wicked and their empire right before your eyes and how it's flourishing and how they built these things up. Not just built it up, but they're lasting from stone, from artificial work. That's why it's in their spirit, every kingdom to symbolize, for it to be similar rather, to the kingdoms that were before it. It says he is brought of Cain, right? What does that mean? Now, the word brought in the Hebrew, right, means to carry in, right? To bring in, to cause to come, to gather, to cause to come, bring near, bring against, bring up, bring to pass. And this is the last son on the left-hand side that's really mentioned, right? When you actually going into the sons of the wicked. So he's bringing forth the same spirit of Cain and the same spirit of him to beginning. It says, and his sister of Tubal Cain, Naamah. I didn't have her pulled up, but for the sake of diving into it, let's go into it. Through the spirit. All right. We can't leave no stone unturned. Look at that. I did go on this early. I must have deleted the window. Dang loveliness, man. You know what that means, man. Right? Yeah, I mean, loveliness. So, I mean, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Sirach, chapter 9. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 9, and verse number 4. Use not much company of a woman that is a singer. That doesn't mean that she's out on a front street and she has a play and she's the front leading lady and she's out there, singing. It's not literal. A singer is somebody like a charmer, like when you play the flute. It captivates your mind and it hits certain pitches, certain tones, and it draws you in. See, records can make you cry. Certain things make you sentimental. They make you upset. Music can make you tired. You play certain music for babies and it rocks them right to sleep, man. That's all spiritual, man. Right? It says, lest thou be taken with her attempts. And she attempts to captivate you through her loveliness, man. What do they call America, man? The beautiful woman, the leading lady, right? It says, gaze not on a maid, lest thou fall, not by those things which are precious in her, man. So you could fall by looking at a woman, not just any woman, but a beautiful woman. So if she's likened to comeliness, delicacy, loveliness, and beauty, that's all on the left-hand side. And that's all spiritual of the God of this world and the woman of this world, right? It says, gaze not on a maid, lest thou fall, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Give not thy soul unto harlots. Check this out. That thou lose not thine inheritance. It's not talking about on a simplistic, low level. You just tricking and you give all your money to this woman and she just runs off in the sunset, man. Your inheritance is what? This truth, the laws. If you give your soul unto a harlot, the harlot is America. The harlot are the whores and the doctrines and the spirits and the nations of this world. If you follow them instead of following the Lord, you're going to lose what the Lord promised to you. That's what this is saying. So you have to look at how these things are being done and the spirit behind the children of men. Now, I never wanted it to be this long, but that's the spirit. I wanted to touch on the sons of God. So you have Tubal Cain, Thou will be brought of Cain, meaning the same spirit that will bring the same actions and evilness and wickedness. So you have Adam. Let's go to the mighty book of Revelation. So like Genesis chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. So Adam means what? He's the son of God, the first man of the ground. Adam represents man, right? Let's go to him. It says first man. He represents man, but not just any man, a man of God. He had many men that were on the earth. Adam wasn't the only man upon the earth. Let me get one quick precept on that. Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse number 70. It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So from the very foundation of the world, there were prophets. There were men of God around, right? Adam wasn't the only man that was ever around. There were many men that existed during his time. Remember, he hid himself because he heard the voice of God. The voice of God are the prophets. So as he was in sin, he revealed that he didn't have any clothes on, which is the garments of protection and strength of the commandments and knowledge of the Most High. He took that off. So he was naked. And in him being naked, he got called out. And nobody likes to be getting got on, man. Nobody likes to be reproved. You get caught with a cigarette in your mouth and I pop out of nowhere, I'm sure that's not something you want, man. Or God forbid I'm doing something, you pop out of nowhere, man. That's not any feeling I want. That's condemnation, that's destruction, that's yokes, and now I feel bad, I'm buried down. So Adam definitely had men in that garden, right, to eat him through the spirit. So he's the first man, right? And Abel represents breath. So out of the ground, the Most High brought forth Adam. Let's get that. Let's go to the mighty book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse number 7. But it's spiritual that the Lord said he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So through Adam, his descendants, Abel represents breath. He represents knowledge, wisdom, understanding, the elect, innocency, but his breath was taken. See that? It said, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and verse number 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So this breath of life is the wisdom of the Heavenly Father through his son Yahweh Shah that got breathed, meaning embedded into the mind of Adam. You understand? As the descendants. It says, and man became what? A living soul. So he became alive through the spirit, right? Not physically existing, but alive in the spirit. He was quickened, right? Now, Abel, again, is innocent. He represents, like it says, breath. Let me get this real fast. If I could pull this up. So, Lockie, bear with me. Pull all these precepts. Get this quick precept. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 24. And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant. Let me pull it up real fast so we can read the whole thing. It's the mighty book of Hebrews, chapter 12, in verse number 24. I'm going to start at 23, right? It says, to the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, right? There are certain men names are written right in the third heaven, in the book of life. To God, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect, right? The elect, right? Through the fire and the temptation, they're made perfect. And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speaketh better things than that of Abel. What did Abel's blood speak? All right, let's go back to the book of Genesis. Let's get a quick precept. Let's go to the book of Genesis. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 4. Right? And I'm going to start at verse, so I can bear with me. 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So if it's crying unto thee, he wants what? He wants judgment. He wants restitution. So he speaketh better things than Abel. Abel isn't physically speaking, right? His blood, rather, isn't physically speaking. This is the spirit. So to this very day, he's never been avenged. But the blood of Yahushua speaks better things than Abel, and Abel was perfect. It was breath that was taken away of innocency, but Yahushua's blood supersedes that, because his blood speaks about mercy. His blood covers your sins. So when his innocency, talking about Yahushua, his blood speaketh better things. Read that again. And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speaketh better things than Abel. I mean, Abel was really one of the first accounts, or the first account of murder in the Bible, which was innocent. And his breath was taken. Now, Seth means compensation, because when the Lord took away Abel, he brought forth who? Seth. So Seth compensates the death of Abel. So the Most High had mercy upon the sons of God and brought forth Seth. So out of Adam, which is the first man of the ground, in the living spirit, right, the Lord took away Abel, right, because he fell from the wicked. His breath was taken, the breath of knowledge and wisdom, and that's like really the fall of man, right? It said, but he's compensated with another son. So the Most High always gives back. I mean, you look at Job, man. The Lord took, but the Most High gave back. You look at us. The Lord said in the book of Job, let me get this quick precept. Right there, latter end shall be greatly increased. Greatly increased. It's the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 7. Though thy beginning was small. What's our beginning, man? Shackles, beaten, smitten, chased, yelled at, mocked, ridiculed, name called, man. You don't really have anything in the society. Our beginning is small. Even on a level taken all the way back to the wilderness, man. Deuteronomy 7 and 7. The Lord said, I didn't choose you because you were the greatest of all the nations. You were the smallest of all the nations, man. It said that these nations were mightier than thou. Mighty in the Hebrew goes to numerous. So they were plentiful of all of those African nations. We were always small. We went into Egypt, we were small, spiritually and physically. Right? It says, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. So the latter end of us is going to increase. So out of Seth, the Lord brought forth in compensation from the death of his brother, Slakia, the death of Abel. It says, for God said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, all praise to the Most High, who Cain slew, right? The wicked slew, man. It says, and to Seth, to him also were there born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So at this time, keeping in mind too, the children of God, the sons of God, they were cursed, proceeding after the curse of Adam. That curse is on us to this very day. You got the Deuteronomy curses, and you have the curse that you would till the land, man. And by thy sweat. Let me get that real fast again. It's the mighty book of Genesis, chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse number 19. Well, I'm going to start at 18. Thorns also and thistles shall thou bring forth to thee. Now, the Lord said the same thing to Cain. But yet he's increasing. We never went to no other God. We're bearing the burden of the things that the Heavenly Father said. The only way we'll increase is if we stay down, keep the commandments, and live, or as if we go serve another God. That's the only two ways. Last time I checked, man, I got thorns and thistles. It says, shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. And in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, meaning you're always going to labor. You're going to work a 12-hour shift. You're going to work an 11-hour shift. You're going to work a 10-hour shift. You're never going to pay bills on time. You're going to always be behind. The money you do get from taxes is spent on credit, man. It's spent on moving to a new house, and it always gets spent up, man. You never can harder it and save it and flourish. So from the sweat of thy face, you're going to always be working. A janitor, a bus driver. You could even be a doctor or a lawyer. You'll always be the last one. You always have to work twice as hard than anybody there. It says, till thou return unto the ground. And that's a poor life. You work, have nothing to show for it, then you die. For out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and into dust thou shalt return. Right? So, I mean, that's the lot of man to work, and be destroyed. So that's the curse. And that curse didn't just stop with Adam and fell upon the sons of God. Right? Now, Enos means man. Right? Enos means man. Now, Enos' son, Canaan, means possession. Now, it says a K right here, but it's the same word, Canaan, right? Cain, as the Cain that's wicked. So you have Enos and you have Cain, Canaan, which means possession. The same as Cain, the children of men, that means possession. Now, for us, we come of the ground and we're the first man in the spirit, right? And Abel is breath. And wisdom is the breath. Right? Let me get that real fast. So Abel is spiritual. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, in verse number 24. For wisdom is more movement than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of God and a pure influence. So wisdom is an influence. It influences you, your descendants, and your people, flowing from the glory of the Almighty. See, he's imaging the spirit of the Most High. Therefore, can no undefiled thing fall into her. So wisdom is the light. It's wisdom. It's knowledge. It's understanding. So that's compensated through Seth, which is highly esteemed amongst men. Right? Enos means man. Cain means a possession. And Mahalalel, right? Praise of God. And again, these are the same, a lot of them are the same names, but on the left-hand side. So a compensation that's taken away from man. His possession praises God. So the things that we have that the Most High gives us, we praise the Most High with. Jared, descent. Enoch, dedicated. Methuselah, man of dearth. Lamech, powerful. Noah, rest. So when you reading it in the spirit, it's not going to say man XYZ. It's not going to say a sentence, but it's written again in a dark parable. And I want to finish breaking it down. I kind of jumped the gun. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 78. All right. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 78 and verse 2. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. So you have dark sayings that are in this Bible. A dark saying isn't just in Revelation or just in the book of Job. Again, you have things right before your eyes that are dark, right? You have to read between the lines, and not by adding them to the word, but in the spirit of the Most High. See, this book could really be 1 trillion pages long if we really want to get that deep. But again, it's not for it to be 1 trillion pages. It's not for it to be explained in depthly. It's for you to dive in through the spirit and dissect through wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Let me go back to it. It's the mighty book of Genesis. Let's start at 5 in verse number 1. It says, "This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him." So out of darkness, you have what? Who's being lifted up? The sons of God. Going back to what we were originally talking about, out of darkness comes light. And this world has had its darkness. It's had its wickedness, man. It's had its reign. The Lord, let's get the classic in 2nd Esdras. Right, chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Letting you know the parallel from the 4th chapter to the 5th chapter is Jacob and Esau and the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So Esau is the end of the world, man. His economy, his science, his doctors, his medical, man, supplies, and his medicine, man, that's finished. And Jacob is the beginning, talking about Israel, that followeth, right? Verse 2, "Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam." So you had the Adamites in the elder world in the day when they were created. "And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth." So he imaged after Abel, which was the breath, right, of the Most High and the Spirit and the elect, and that got taken away. So he imaged after the likeness of his father. Meaning Adam taught the commandments. He knew wisdom. And he broke all of that down to Seth. And Seth ate it all up, man. He was on fire. And the days of Adam after he begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begotten sons and daughters. And all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived, right, 105 years and begot Enos, right, which was man. And Seth lived after he begot Enos 170 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, right, and he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begot Cain, which means possession. So a man brings forth possession, right? And Enos lived after he begot Canaan 850 years and begot sons and daughters. So they're flourishing, in the spirit, but not in the flesh. They catch a hell, they're cursed in the flesh, but yet they're calling upon the name of the Lord, right? Keep in mind, Genesis 4 and 26, "Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord." So in these days, men were calling upon the name of the Lord for the atrocities, the lies, the murder, to ultimately bring forth rest, which was Noah, a new life, a new kingdom, a new way of everything being destroyed, which is the first death, and to everything being saved from the loins of the righteous, right? Shem, you had Ham, you had Japheth, right? From Shem brings forth Yahushua, Hamashiach the righteous. So all of these things of catching hell, dirt, the dust, right? Catching hails and thorns and thistles was all prophesied to bring forth the rest of the sons of God. Now, in the spirit, we don't have a genealogy like it was in Genesis, the 5th chapter, to really go off of this brother, the son of that brother, and you kind of breaking it down. But right now, if you have ears to hear, we're living in the days where we're about to be brought forth to rest. And now it's not going to be Noah, it's going to be Yahushua. This time it's not going to be water, it's going to be fire. This time in the days of building the ark, you're building up the temple. You're building up the nation. You're building up your family. You're building up your spirit. And you're catching hell in the same like fashion, in the same spirit. It says, "And Cain lived 70 years and begot Methuselah. And Cain lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years and begot sons and daughters. And the days of Cain were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared." Right? Let me get that real fast. Jared, descent, right? Enoch, dedicated. So it says Jared, and Mahalalel lived after he begot Jared 830 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived and 162 years and begat Enoch, right? Dedicated. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and begat, right, Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God, right? Meaning the Most High took him up in the chariot. You know, the Most High didn't come down and he walked with him physically. And they went to the secret tales of God knows what, man. When it says he walked with God, the only way you can walk with the Most High is if you're perfect. Let's get that in the book of Genesis, chapter 17. So this man, he was perfect, like literally perfect. There's no ins and outs, no adding to the word. The only way you can walk with the Most High is if you're perfect. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 1. It says, and when Abraham was 90 years and 9, the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect. He said, before me, meaning let me watch you walk and be thou perfect, man. So he followed after the Lord. He kept the commandments of the Heavenly Father, and he walked after the Most High. So he was perfect. Enoch, he's walking with the Most High through Yahushua. That's like, it's crazy. So if you're walking with the Lord is not of this world, man. The Most High is not going to come down and dwell with the children of men. He's too pure. You can only behold the Lord afar off. He dwelleth in thick darkness, like the scriptures say. It says, after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Let me get this quick precept. All right. Let's go to the classic. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. In verse number 10. He pleased God, meaning he was perfect, and was beloved of him, so that living amongst sinners, he was translated. What does it mean to be translated? For brothers that may not know. Let me see. Letter attached to the beginning, following the word. So I can bear with me. It says translated, often used in the Bible, typically refers to being transferred or moved from one place, state to another, man. Where was he moved to? He went to the third heaven. He was translated. He was taken up with a chariot, so-called UFO. Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness shall alter his understanding. What was that wickedness that was on the earth, man? The children of men, the wisdom and the streams of water, the artificials and all of the works of the brass and the knowledge that they have on the left-hand side, man. That can alter his understanding. It wasn't just quote-unquote sin and lust. Lust is the only form of sin. You have many forms of sin and many potent parts of witchcraft that manipulate the mind, man. Got all of these Dr. Phil's, these life coaches, and people trust in this world. Or deceit beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness, the trickery of wickedness, doeth obscure things that are honest, man. Meaning it darkens things that are the truth. Obscure is darkness, growthness, a void. And the wandering, meaning your loss of concupiscence, lust. You're wandering around trying to figure things out, like dying to the daughters of the land, doeth undermine the simple mind. Meaning it overthrows you. Because the Most High never set you to dig certain things out. You can't be curious in unnecessary matters. If I start digging up in things I have no business doing, God knows what that could happen to me, man. So reason why the Lord said not to give heed to endless genealogies. It's a reason why the Lord says certain things, man. Because once you start dibbling in it, you're going to get overthrown. It says he being made perfect in a short time fulfilled a long time. That's why wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age. Not an old man. It's not necessarily honorable. Even though, you rise the hoary head, the gray hair, is the wisdom unto men. We understand that. But nevertheless, an unspotted life is better than an old age. And he had an unspotted life, fulfilling much in a short time. So he walked with God. Verse 24. And he was not, meaning the Most High took him, and God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech, meaning powerful. And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years and begot sons and daughters. And again, this is spiritual because all of these children, why are they the ones mentioned? You have the chosen line and you have something the Lord is breaking down, showing you through these men. You have many sons and daughters. A lot of these men, they have many sons and daughters. But you have the chosen. And all the days Methuselah 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years and begot a son and called his name Noah. Noah means comfort and or rest. So from the powerful estate, Lamech meaning powerful, a powerful rest is being brought forth to save the sons of God. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. It's the book of Job, right? Chapter 22 and verse number 13. Now, this is the mind of the wicked that was going on during this exact time that you read about in Genesis, right? The 5th chapter. It's the book of Job, chapter 22 and 13. And thou sayest, how doeth God know? Can he judge through the thick clouds, man? The dark clouds? And where's the Most High, man? Is he hiding it? Can he see us through all the abundance of the clouds? Thick clouds are a covering to him. This is what the carnal mind thinks. Just because I'm inside doesn't mean the Most High can't see me. It says that he cannot. It's like he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. Right? Amos chapter 9 and verse 1. So they have the knowledge to know he walks in the circuit of heaven. So these wicked, they're not, they're on a low level, but they're not on a low level like you think. They know the commandments. They know seemingly spiritual things. They just hate and they're crooked and they can't be made straight. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 9. How do they know he walks in the circuit of heaven, man? This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head of all them. And I will slay the last of them with the sword. He, Slakia, that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escape of them shall not be delivered. So it said, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar. So the Most High, he's upon his throne, and you have Yahushua, he's standing upon the altar. He walks through the circuit of heaven. You can read about that as well in Wisdom of Solomon. Salakia, Sirach. That's what I want. Sirach 24. Let me get one more precept on that. Right. I'm going to start at verse 4. I dwell in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone compass the circuit of heaven. So how do they know that, man? I don't think Esau just got a damn suit on drinking blood, man. They have knowledge on the left-hand side. Remember that witch, she conjured up Samuel, man. So they can conjure up, the righteous, a righteous spirit. He's not just in the back crunching numbers, man. There are things that he knows that are spiritual. Not that he's a spiritual man, but there are things that he knows which is spiritual things. He may have learned on the left-hand side. Through patience and wisdom and the Most High, dealing with us, things are revealed. Like it says in Matthew, flesh and blood have not, broken this down to you, paraphrasing, revealed this unto you, talking about Peter, but the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the spirit of my Father. But there are certain things that are revealed on the left-hand side. It said, I alone can pass the circuit of heaven and walk in the bottom of the deep. This is talking about wisdom. Wisdom is Yahweh Shah. So they're saying the wicked of that world, the elder world, that he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. So they have knowledge of that. Hast thou marked the old way which wicked men have trodden down? The old way is all the way down from Cain. The spirit he's been in. Tubal Cain, Jubal, right? Jabal, right? Nama, right? And all the Mech, all of the men on the left-hand side. Have you not marked the spirit they've been in? The blessings and things that they have received on the left-hand side? How they're cursed from the earth and the judgments that are going to proceed? It says, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood. It says whose foundation? To have a foundation, you have to be rooted. I mean, they had to have a city. I mean, they had to have markets. They had cattle. They had brass. They had all of these things, man, going on while we was breaking the ground, slaving for the increase of the Lord. See, corn is a blessing. When you till the ground through hard work and the Lord give you corn, that's a blessing. Let's get that in I'm gonna come back to this precept. Let's get that in the book of Psalms, chapter 4. Psalms chapter 4, verse 7. It says, thou hast put gladness in my heart more than in the time that their corn and their wine increase. See, I have a specific time that you have the harvest of the corn. You dig, you till, you break down, you sweat, you plant, you water, then the Most High gives you an increase. So the gladness that David is talking about is the joy of the Lord. That's more important to him. It means more to him than the corn that you've been slaving for all damn 2-3 months that have yield forth the increase that you can eat for months. And wine, meaning grapes of the vineyard, right? Says, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety, man. Meaning that's my joy, that's my gladness, and that's my comfort. This truth, right? So, I mean, when it says whose foundation was overflown with a flood, they had to have everything. Which said unto God, depart from us, and what can the Almighty do for them? Yet he filled their houses with good things, but the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous see it and are glad, and the innocent laugh them to scorn, right? Whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consumeth. Let me go back to it. It says, and he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning the work, it's like our work and toil of our hands. This is really talking about being saved. Because you work. Well, where does it all go? What's the point of working when you can't leave it to anybody? Who knows, like the scriptures say, whether that man is going to have wisdom or not? The Lord said we work and don't have the power to eat the things we work of. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 6:1. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. Meaning everybody deal with this. A man to whom God have given riches and wealth and honor, that's an Israelite, a son of God. So we have the riches spiritually and physically. We have wealth and honor physically and spiritually, so that he wanted nothing for his soul. And we don't really need anything at our first estate. The Most High giveth everything. But once we're cursed and we're toiling of the earth, we don't have power like we once did. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. Who's that stranger, man? Cain, Esau, right? On a manifold level, but you have Ammon, Moab, Japheth. You have these other strange children. This is vanity and it is an evil disease. The Lord said, look, that's an evil disease, man. For a man to do all of that work and somebody else steal your invention, steal your idea. You got a good idea at work. Here come Esau taking all of the credit, man. In a board meeting, you sitting up there going like this. I think we should do that. I think we should do this. He take all your ideas and he give it to the CEO. Next thing you know, he got to increase a better job position. And he stole the position you wanted. So the toil of our hands is going to bring comfort. I mean, he's going to save us. But again, Noah didn't save you, the Most High did. Let's get that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. In verse number 1. Again, one preparing himself to sail, talking about Noah, and about to pass through the raging waves. So when the children of men were dying, it was a vicious death, man. The same way this fire is going to rain down, it's not going to rain down like nice, beautiful drops of water. Right? And this is going to be an Omarion video, man. Right? I believe he had, can't even spell his name, man. I believe he had a song. He was dancing in the rain. Look at him. Marcus Houston spirit. It's not going to be like this. And they could just comfortably dance and choreograph and do their moves. And it's not coming down like this. Right? That fire is going to shoot down at a very, very high, vicious level. It's not going to be anything comely. It's going to destroy all cattle, all men, all women. It's going to be raging, like it says for the waves. It raged back and forth, man. I mean, it beat upon that wood. Man, it probably rocked a lot of people to death, man. A lot of people drowned, but imagine being smashed into one another. I mean, all souls is upon. You got to really visualize this thing. If you rocking back and forth, you can smash into somebody in your head and break your skull. So those waves was really raging back and forth for the destruction of the wicked. Calleth upon a piece of wood more rotten than the vessel that carrieth him. For verily, desire to gain the vice that the workman built it by his skill, meaning the workman built it. You have a shipman that carved wood. Let me get that. That's really an ancient skill. Yeah, ship carvers are artisans, right, who specialize in creating decorative hand carves elements for ships, right, such as the figureheads, right, built heads, stern boards. And when you diving into it, that's a hard thing to bend wood. How hard to bend wood? But I went into it on another breakdown. Bending wood ranges from moderately easy to thin, soaked or heated pieces to quietly difficult for thick, right, rigid or dried lumber, requiring techniques. So you need techniques to know how to bend wood, man. Wood just don't bend. You don't find a nice piece of bent wood and he said, oh, this will go nice in the ark. So his work wasn't just nails and wood, man, and hammers. He had to really sculpt this wood and bend wood, which is very, very hard to do. It takes a technique. You know, so in the spirit, it was very skillful, like it says. But thy providence, O Father, governeth it. And then the Most High was over that ark. It wasn't just the skill of knowing the way he built it, his craftsmanship. It says, for thou hast made a way in the sea and a safe path in the waves. And that's spiritual to a chariot. That's spiritual For when all destruction is going on, you have peace, you have comfort, you have relaxation, and your mind is at rest because you're not worrying about the destruction, the cries, the screams, and the things that were going on to the sons, or it's like the children of men. See, the sons of God, they were safe. Shem, he was safe. Noah, he was safe, man. And the Most High guided them out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It says, for thou hast made a way in the sea and a safe path in the waves. Right? Let me read on. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 5, verse 29. And he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning the work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord have cursed. Right? And going back to it, you have Adam, the son of God, made of the ground, the first living spirit in the spirit, right, brought forth, right, of the sons of God, to a breath that was taken away, which represents the elect and us being cast down. But the Lord compensates us back in our first estate, right, to a man that's possession, praises God, descent, right, that we are, that's dedicated to a man of dearth. The man of dearth goes into like a dart or a spear, which meant we're dedicated for war. We're dedicated for strength and power. I believe I had that pulled up. Right, Methuselah, a man of dearth. Right now, the Hebrew word dart is most commonly translated, right, which generally means arrow, shaft, or missile weapon. Right, so we're dedicated for strength and power on the right hand side to bring forth rest, man. We're strong people, man. So these sons of God, the Most High is showing you that even though we're cast down, we compensate us back to our first estate to be strong and powerful, that brings forth rest, which ultimately goes to our Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach the righteous. But let me get this closing precept. Let's go to the mighty book of Revelation. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and I want to start at verse 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. So make sure that, man, brothers are watching and in tune with what's going on in the earth. Remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come in thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So Most High willing, man, brothers, continue to watch. Be strong in the spirit. Don't faint, and continue on in these days, because these are the same days of old when we're toiling. We're toiling, but the Lord is bringing forth rest. Again, in the ancient and the elder world, you had to wait, and children had to be born. Time had to be. Generations had to be. So it was at the Lord's time to bring forth that rest. We're living in those same days. No man knows the day or the hour, but rest is coming through his spirit. But with that, I'm going to close out, giving all honor and all glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem HaMashiach, Malak Yahushai. Shalom.